Okay, so I saw this post on Twitter from someone I follow, and it really inspired me to actually make this video. So I want to show you the post really quickly. Black people being criminalized when they feel suicidal or they are in some type of mental health crisis is a real thing. And I want to tell you my story. I've talked about this story a little bit on my page, but I've never given the full story of how I was handcuffed during Hurricane Ida when I needed help evacuating the city. So I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, and last year there was a really bad storm called Hurricane Ida, and it caused a lot of devastation in Louisiana. We didn't have power for I think like over a week. It was just a lot of stuff going on during Hurricane Ida, and I was having trouble evacuating the city. To give you some more context about how scary this was for someone like me, I deal with mood disorders. I have major depressive disorder. I also deal with anxiety and PTSD. And I've dealt with all of this because of traumatic things that have happened in my childhood. But it's really bad. So being stuck in a natural disaster, and also because of my mood disorders, I don't drive. I have a license, but it's just not really safe for me to drive sometimes. So the state of the world has already been really crazy for the last couple of years. So I was very stressed out, not only about COVID and stuff like that, but also just trying to get my way out of the city and also the state, because power was like out in so many places in Louisiana, and they weren't expecting us to have power for maybe a couple of weeks. It was a lot of stress going on. So I finally was finding a way to get some transportation out of the city, and I had to make a stop to Alexandria, Louisiana. From Alexandria, I was going to get the rest of the way out of the state just to be somewhere safe for whenever the power finally came back on. So when I got to Alexandria, they actually transported us to a shelter. I had no plans on staying at the shelter at all. It was just, they said this is where it's going, and you can go the rest of the way of wherever you need to go. By the time I got to Alexandria Mega Shelter, I was really, really stressed out. And they actually had a medical team there. And one of them saw I was stressed out and came over to talk to me, and they said, "Do you need any help or anything?" And I actually said, "Yes, I do need some help right now. I'm a little stressed out. I'm trying to get out the city in the state, and it's just, everything's crazy right now." I told them I had been feeling a little suicidal, but I have no active plans of hurting myself. Like, just remember, I told them this. I also told them, if you can just help me to get to where I'm going, my next destination, I know I'm going to feel a lot better. I'm just really stressed out because, a natural disaster just happened. We all have to evacuate. The lights are out. It's just craziness. So it just sent my mood disorders into overdrive, and I just needed help. We were all outside the shelter when this happened. Like, the lady walked up to me, and then after that, there were like three more people that came up to me. I talked to them and I tried to give them all a better understanding of what's going on. And for a moment, I thought they were actually listening to me and they were going to try to help me. So we're all still sitting outside talking, and it's really late at night. I got kind of sleepy, so I know they're out there with me. So I felt safe enough in the moment to fall asleep. But when I woke up, I wouldn't sleep long. I woke up and there was a police officer next to me. The police officer is telling me I have to come with him. I have no choice. And I said no. I said, I already done told these people I don't have an active plan to hurt myself. I'm just trying to get somewhere safe. Why are you even here? Why did they even call you? And because I stood up for myself, I was handcuffed in front of the entire shelter, and it was so humiliating. And by that time, I had words for the staff and the police officer. I was angry at this point. Let me explain to you what a PEC is. It's called a Physician's Emergency Certificate. And basically, if a physician does this to you, it can have you locked up in a psych ward for 72 hours or more if they decide. So I am in this police car, handcuffed. This white police officer is driving me down these dark roads, and that's a little traumatic within itself because stuff happens to black people in police cars on dark roads, okay? So I'm just thinking in the back of my mind this whole time, they're thinking they're helping me, and the whole time they're just making my situation increasingly worse by the minute. I was so angry. I was so humiliated and traumatized by the situation. And by the time the officer got me to the mental health facility, I was really pissed. And I still was having some words to say because you just don't treat people like this. Y'all, I was so pissed. And by the time we got to the facility and the officer's taking me in, I'm still talking to him. I still have words because, like I said, I have never been humiliated so much in my whole life. And of course, the medical staff, they really have no idea what's going on yet. So they just see me angry and they put me in a padded room because I was still upset at the officer. So finally, while I'm in the padded room, the doctor and a few of the staff come to talk to me. And finally, I'm able to advocate for myself and tell them what really happened. And I also tell the doctor, hey, I did not even tell these people I had any active plans of hurting myself. So this doctor actually decides to listen to me, and he does not put me on 72-hour hold. And the staff were actually starting to understand, like, yeah, we get why you're angry. They basically took you while you were asleep, and they took you against your will. So at this point, I'm shaking. I'm literally shaking. I feel like all my rights have been taken away for no reason other than I was just trying to ask for help. And now, before I leave, this doctor said something to me that I know he's probably thinking he was trying to help me, but it just actually kind of traumatized me even more. He was like, I know you're angry, you're really upset right now, but when you get angry like this, they're more likely to put you on 72-hour hold. And I was just like, why can't black women ever be angry about anything? Why do we always have to be told? Why do we always have to be told that we have to be and act a certain way just so our needs can get met? I was in mental health distress. I needed help, and the system just screwed me over. I was sick for days after that happened. I mean, like physically sick. I was throwing up. I was having flashbacks about what happened. I was just extremely depressed. I did file a complaint against the shelter, but I never really heard anything back about it. And I really actually wish I could sue them because it's been months since this happened and I'm still traumatized to the point where when I feel suicidal, I'm scared to get help in this system. Now, I have a support group. I reach out to people, so I don't want people to get scared and be like, she doesn't do anything if she feels suicidal. I do. But actually going the medical route and going either to an emergency room or just something like that, I just don't feel safe anymore because of how I was treated. And I'm telling this story so that people in the mental health field can see like stuff like this happens all the time. And it is just really not okay, and something needs to be done about it.